In Silent Hill F, beauty and decay are interwoven. Flowers melt flesh, clotted rot devours once proud structures, and yet all of this grotesquerie is gorgeous, both visually and in the sense of somber it stirs. I was moved by Silent Hill F's visuals and the sheer artistry on display. But beyond that, I was also moved by how the series' signature examination of the human mind, which in this case honed in on the psyche of a young teenage girl being violently thrust towards womanhood, brought me back to my own adolescence, to a time I'll never again return to, and was as isolating and horrifying as it was precious and fundamental, to a part of me that, in a sense, has decayed. Not every game can invoke such a response, especially in just under 6 hours, and yet, Silent Hill F did. I walked away both enamored and impressed by the time I spent with Silent Hill F. Despite the success of Silent Hill 2's remake last year, it's safe to say there was still some speculation as to if the series was truly back. I'd now go so far as to say it's not only back, it's stronger than ever, and that Silent Hill F has the potential to be the best game in the series. It's a bold claim, made bolder by the fact that, while a few Silent Hill games have technically taken place outside the titular Silent Hill, Silent Hill F is the first that seems to be completely removed from the foggy New England town. Instead, Silent Hill F embraces Konami's idea that Silent Hill is a state of mind. For protagonist Hinako, Silent Hill takes shape as a fog and rot-coated version of her hometown, the fictional rural village of Ebisugaoka. Silent Hill F distinguishes itself in another way too, as it trades in the series' more contemporary setting for the late 1960s, a period of time which the Silent Hill F team chose because it felt like the point in time in which the fantasy of Japan and its technologically focused future collided. Silent Hill F's events kick off quickly, a fact I appreciated and that kept the lingering sense of dread tangible. After witnessing yet another argument between her parents, Hinako leaves home in search of someone, anyone, to keep her distracted and talk to her. Based on that and her journal entries, we can tell she is a deeply lonely character, even if she seems to have friends and an older sister she deeply admires and who looks out for her. This fact quickly endeared her to me, despite not much having happened at this point. By the time she makes her way down the fog-drenched foothills and to the village's Kanayama-inspired alleyways, she is thrust into a nightmare scenario befitting the Silent Hill series, albeit with plenty of added friend drama and a second yokai-filled spirit world she is sometimes sent to. And yes, the latter is just as fascinating, dark, and beautiful as it sounds, and despite loving exploring the village, I was always eager to return. As a high school-aged girl, Hinako is no weapons expert, though she can certainly swing a metal pipe and can even wield ceremonial daggers and a naginata when in the spirit world. It's advisable to use her track and field experience to evade enemies and pick your battles. A large part of this is because Silent Hill F puts a huge emphasis on resource management, in part by bringing back weapon degradation. Though this can be a contentious choice, I thought it worked extremely well and reflected the game's overall theme of decay, be it physical or mental. On the subject of degradation, and in addition to your standard health and stamina bars, Silent Hill F adds a sanity meter to the game. Another contentious choice that, when handled poorly, can feel off-putting. However, I found it works well within the game. In addition to avoiding stigmatizing mental health, it also doesn't feel like just another arbitrary gauge, as it allows Hinako to engage in a special focus ability that, when activated, better alerts her as to when she can get a critical strike on an enemy. Naturally, closely observing enemies causes her sanity to drain, and when it's empty, she loses the ability to hone in and is left to find advantageous times on her own. In addition to weapon degradation, a new layer of resource management is added via the way permanent upgrades work in Silent Hill F. Scattered throughout Ebisugaoka and the spirit world are shrines Hinako can pray at, which saves her progress. Once there, she can also generate faith by enshrining objects, including those used to heal. Once an object is converted into faith, she can then draw Omamori, which gives her a random accessory with its own boon, or permanently upgrade one of her stats. This adds an interesting element of choice and strategy. Do you hang on to your various healing items to use in battle, or convert them into faith for permanent upgrades. Granted, there are certain items that can solely be enshrined and plenty of goods that can only be consumed, but when it comes to the rest, it's up to players to decide how to presume. For the most part, I enjoyed Silent Hill F's combat. It's more fluid than previous entries, and I loved how weighty Hanako's swings and fumblings felt. It's nothing revolutionary, but I don't particularly look for top-tier action in psychological horror games. There is a slight hiccup though, as managing resources and avoiding engaging in every fight means navigating all the village's tight alleyways. While tight corners, dead ends, and a close camera add satisfying tension to the game, it can definitely feel a bit frustrating and restrictive when a blood-covered mannequin is stalking you and an arguably too slowly refilling stamina bar keeps winded as you try to dodge its attacks. At a certain point, it made the fear give way to aggravation and made me desperately long for faster stamina regeneration, even after giving myself a few upgrades. All this said, the Silent Hill series is arguably better known for its solid level design and puzzles, and Silent Hill F definitely delivers on both fronts. Much like the town of Silent Hill, Ibisugaoka is beautiful, eerie, anxiety-inducing, and a delight to explore, even if it does mean facing off against gore-covered abominations. It's also deceptively large and feels a lot less linear than you might expect. In fact, there are certain houses and areas that have wholly self-contained stories that, while not mandatory to do, can impact which ending Hinako winds up getting in later playthroughs. All players are locked into the canon ending the first time they play. This makes exploration all the more enticing. Like previous Silent Hill games, Silent Hill F also has a number of great set pieces, including vast farmlands, darkened temples, and a dilapidated middle school, the latter of which will delight anyone who loved navigating Silent Hill 2's apartments. Though the puzzles I encountered weren't too difficult to solve, they were still fun head-scratchers that saw me closely examining scarecrows, deciphering locker code language designed by middle schoolers, sorting through omamori to find the right images to accompany lengthy poems, and more. While on the subject of things the Silent Hill series does well, I'd be remiss not to mention Silent Hill F's music and sound design, both of which are phenomenal. Even taken purely at surface level, Silent Hill F is a great experience, and the story woven in its first 5 hours, one of a young girl navigating rot-filled alleys and teenage psychological warfare, completely pulled me in. And yet, there was both room and this compulsion to dive deeper into Hanako's headspace and what it meant to be a woman coming of age in 1960s Japan. It was a subject I was a bit shocked to see so blatantly explored in Silent Hill F, although horror as a genre is actually phenomenal at facilitating conversations about adolescence and womanhood, and I'd argue that the Silent Hill series itself has done this subtly but extremely well in the past. This isn't a topic often approached in video games. During my interview with the Silent Hill F team, I asked them if it was their intention to explore gender roles, relationship dynamics between men and women, and the horrors of being a teenage girl. Ryukishi07 then told me that not only was it intentional, it was part of the game he took a lot of effort into depicting purposefully, and it shows. Though how things unfold exactly remains to be seen, so far I am incredibly impressed by the confidence, subtlety, and acuteness with which Konami is exploring a young girl's psyche and how isolating becoming a woman can be. Be it jabs thrown at Hanako regarding how manly she speaks, the subtle ways one of her friends undermines her femininity in front of one of their male friends, the strain that now exists between her and her aforementioned male friend as attraction becomes a concern, the shallow magazines with articles claiming a woman is only complete once she is loved, or, most compellingly, the many journal entries Hanako pens that explain how marriage has ruined her older sister and how her mother and father's abusive dynamic has affected her. Silent Hill F is unabashed in its efforts to bring players into Hanako's mind. The nature of this new Silent Hill that Hanako finds herself in is not the only mystery to solve in Silent Hill F. Since the game was announced, many have speculated as to what the little red F in the game's title could mean, though many have been quick to assume that, based on its curvature, it stands for Forte. The Silent Hill team has been coy when it comes to revealing what it actually stands for. In fact, based on their comments and the fact that the game has 5 different endings, yes, including a UFO one, it seems as though it could stand for a number of things, with different players having different interpretations. Fortunately, we won't have to wait too much longer to get to work on answering these questions and discovering just what that F might mean. Silent Hill F launches on September 25th, 2025, and will be available on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series.